I've been meaning to do these jobs in the greenhouse for months, and today they're finally happening. So every single pot is going to get a nice big dose of worm tea that I've just harvested out of the worm farm, and I'm finally going to install the tap timer. So then everything should be nice and automatic and the greenhouse should be thriving. But I have just opened the door to see that I obviously didn't find every caterpillar because, well, you can see him clear as day just here, and the damage that he's done. All my cucumber seedlings that were thriving. So you can see the cheeky caterpillar just here and all the damage that he's done to all my cucumber seedlings that were thriving. So I'll have to go through here again and do a really big spot check for caterpillars, because that little guy's wreaking havoc, and the whole point of the greenhouse was to try and eliminate the disasters. But first, I'm going to water everything with some worm tea. For any of those temperature watchers wondering what it's like here, it's 19.8 degrees Celsius in the greenhouse. I have just had the door open, but the vent is shut. So I'm going to shut this door to keep the warmth in. Okay, so let's give everything a nice big watering with worm tea. Starting off with these herbs, which have been hit a little bit, again by the caterpillar. I've got some garlic down here, which I should have planted out from the pot that I bought it in. So that might be a lost cause, we'll see. Giving these I'm going to give these snow peas here a really big watering, because I want them to take in a whole heap of this nutrient-rich worm tea and give us a lot of food in return. Silver beet. And this pot of mixed carrot and silver beet, and what was a thriving basil in there that has been attacked again, probably by the caterpillar. The Diggers Club heirloom silver beet is doing quite well. So that's just an example of a really strong seed thriving. The stronger the plant, the less likely they are to get attacked. Okay. Well, that's already that watering can finished, so I'll go and get another one and get a good refill. And whilst I'm going to fill up that watering can, I'm going to take this caterpillar and give it to the chickens. It's highly likely that these caterpillars that I have just been throwing back out on the lawn are getting back in here. So I need to stop that from happening. I'll just check underneath the leaves. You can see they're really well camouflaged, and they like to hide underneath the leaves. And we can also see how much damage they did from yesterday. I'll see if I can edit in a bit of video from yesterday where we still had lots of really healthy cucumber here. Some purple carrots that are ready to be planted out into a seed bag probably. And my initial plan was to be planting these cucumbers out tomorrow, but I'll have to see how that goes. Obviously I need to do some successive planting and plant out more cucumbers. I'll just have an inspection from the lack of leaves on this parsley. I would expect to find a caterpillar hiding in here somewhere. moved on. And we'll just check that there's none in the peas. Again, wrapping it around the trellis, encouraging it to grow up. Okay. Any cheeky devils in here? So this is the strawberry flower, and we had some strawberries. Was it in this one or the one up here? We had some little berries hiding somewhere. They were very well camouflaged, but when I spotted them, that's what made me decide that it was definitely time to give everything in here a worm wee, get some nutrients back into the soil. Okay, I'm going to go and give this cheeky caterpillar, I'm going to go and give this cheeky caterpillar to my chickens and get some more worm tea. Hey girls, how you doing? Would you like a tasty caterpillar? These are the most timid chickens I have ever had. So I haven't given any of these plants on here a worm wee yet, and I'm going to get them all off and put them on the ground so that I'm not worried about staining this beautiful bench top with like a coffee color. Moving these pots down. A lot of people will have worm tea that's literally a tea color. Ours is closer to a coffee color because we drink so much coffee and all our spent coffee grounds go into the worm farm. Slowly getting stronger. Gardening was where all my strength used to come from. It's slowly coming back. Ideally, I wouldn't be watering on top of the strawberry leaves. They like to keep their leaves dry. I haven't given seedlings worm wee before, so we'll see how we go. I'm not as worried about the worm tea getting on the bench here because you can see that the seedlings are in their first little punnet and then they're sitting in those green trays which will catch a lot of the extra water. And then these purple carrots and tomato seedlings here are already too wet, so I'm not going to give them anything. The blueberry hiding down here will get a nice worm tea. And I'm just going to quickly go outside and give that pot with the fruit that I don't know what it is some worm wee, and we've also got the blueberries in there. I'll be back. Okay, so now that everything's been given a nice big watering with the nutrient-rich worm tea, I'm going to go and install the tap timer. It should be relatively easy. Again, let's shut this door and keep the warmth in. So, a good trusted brand here in Australia. It's been around for ages, Pope. I'm not affiliated with them or anything, it's just some of the brands on the shelf I wasn't familiar with, and I decided that I wasn't going to test playing with them for $10 of savings because I couldn't find any reviews. If anyone's reviewed any other products, please let me know what you think of them because we're always trying to find the best budget. Okay, something I don't normally do is read the instructions, but I probably should. Tap fitting. The timer comes with a 25mm inlet and a 20mm reducing. Depending on the size of your tap, you may need the reducing bush. The tap connection also has a filter installed. This is to stop the debris from entering the valve mechanism. That's pretty cool. And then the hose connection is to a standard 12mm hose. So, as I've said before, a lot of stuff in my house is not standard, so hopefully I can just go and whack this on the tap and we'll be done from there. But let's go see. And here's the moment of truth behind every garden. that when one place looks good, there's a disaster somewhere else and unfinished projects. So this is a very, very technical setup. I've literally just run a hose down the fence line and into the greenhouse. Okay, so fingers crossed, all I have to do is turn this hose off. Make sure these are off. Okay, now this one looks like it's going to click on there nice and easily. And is this one, that's not going to screw on there. This is looking pretty promising. Okay, I've got some rechargeable batteries. I am out here. Pardon? I'm setting up my tap timer. Could probably use you to tighten everything up for me. Okay, let's do a test of the manual on off. I'm going to put the main tap on, put this valve on. That's not sealed. It got me. I may need to read the manual. Now, does that set it for? Yep, so let's start time 8 a.m. Frequency time. I'm going to do it probably every 24 hours. So how does that? For every 60 minutes, can we do that? Ah, there we go. For every 24 hours. Every second day, there we go. Okay, I'm going to accept the fact that I'm tired and not that technically orientated. I used to do this with an app, which was much easier than scrolling through everything. But here we go. I'm trying this system, and hopefully at 8 a.m. tomorrow, this will go off for 7 minutes in the greenhouse. So I'm going to get up and test that because I'm just confusing the system with the manual override. And it's time for me to go and have a big drink of water. I'm dehydrated. The irony. And the final job to do in the last few minutes of daylight is to put these misters on the seedlings. And of course I've made it difficult by putting all these pots down at my feet. Mark has just come in here and very positively, that's sarcasm, pointed out that there's not a lot happening in here at the moment. And I told him that, yeah, it did look a lot better when these cucumbers were thriving. And before I gave up on the tomato because it had finished. So, I mean, so far it's a big investment for not much return, but for the amount of effort that I've been putting in, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, apart from what the caterpillar's been doing. Hopefully, this is just a very simple change of one fitting to the other. So I've just unscrewed this fitting, which was, I could turn it on and off, which is better than this mister, which I can't. I haven't been able to find a mister with the valve to turn it on and off for when I have seedlings. So It's a catch-22 because this one was just drowning everything out. So I'm going to change this one and leave the other one and see what happens. This is the one that's really been drowning out the carrot and tomato seedlings. So I like this system because it's just a matter of pushing it into the hose and screwing it in. And what I'm thinking with this being a all-over sprayer is I've got this stick which hopefully will just support it. I might need to attach it on somehow. I didn't really think that out the total way. The other option is to make another hole here. Anyway, I can't be that bothered right now. So we'll see how that shanky job holds up when the watering system goes on, hopefully tomorrow. Those few quick jobs of putting the worm tea and the automatic irrigation system could completely change how everything grows in the greenhouse. So hopefully everything will be a lot more productive and much more easy to manage. And that looks like the neighbors just turning up in the street. So they're giving us some interesting disco lights there. All right, join me next time in the greenhouse and hopefully we'll see some production and less destruction from the caterpillars. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye. So just looking at all the seedlings, I really need to do a lot of work in here. A lot of these trays are getting some green growth on them because they're different humidity. I've still got some drips of water here that I want to start catching, so I'm not wasting any water. I am nicely surprised by how well this quick little repair with, you can see the yellow nozzle here where I've just put the mister in and it's just resting on top of that stick at the moment. I wasn't expecting it to stay there, so that's a win. Minimum effort, big reward. Again, it's watering the wall, so some adjustments are necessary and perfect timing that the system's timed out so I can do that without getting saturated. Just tidying up this daisy, taking out the death on it to help it thrive a bit, and also doing a bit of a caterpillar hunt while I'm at it. I've just found a few caterpillar sacks, wanting the right phrase for it, and a live caterpillar in here. So this is another breeding ground for them. I'm a little bit concerned that, yeah, I don't think you can see it, but I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned that some of the black dots on these leaves are actually caterpillar larvae, but I'll have to look into it. And mosquito, got it. One mosquito was harmed in the making of this video. This human didn't get vampired. So it's currently 23.7 degrees in the greenhouse today. I think it's about 19 degrees outside. It is a nice sunny day, but it's still winter, it's June. And if we look closely, this soil is really, really dry, despite having that water in there. So I will give it a bit of a watering can. I guess that's part of the problem with me coming out here at night or in the afternoon, twilight times, is that I still don't have any light in here, and by the time I get out here, most of the time the natural light's all gone. Okay, so since I've got a pot here already of mini muncher cucumber seeds that didn't germinate at all, I think they might have been the seeds that were out of date that we thought about planting anyway. I need to check back on that. I'm going to simply take these mini muncher cucumbers from over here that are drowned out right now and put them in this bigger pot and see if we're going to have any luck, even though, get this out of the way, even though that it's not just one caterpillar, those pesky caterpillars have really attacked them, but hopefully a few of these with a bit of the leaves will bounce back. There's only one way to find out, really, and I've got nothing to lose. make some deepish holes in here. Deep roots are good. And I'll try not to crowd out this pot too much. Okay, I'm loving that I made everything in here adjustable so that I can just simply move the pots around, change the watering systems a bit, plant that cucumber in, see how she goes. And there's another one here with pretty good leaves. And I gave all of these a good watering with worm tea yesterday, so they got lots of nutrients, so they should be ready for the transplant. I think I might put 4 in here. These 2 germinated together, so I'll keep those together. There's probably room for 1 more. And the others that are being attacked by the caterpillars, I'm just going to turn into chicken food because I'm not going to create a whole new pot for an experiment that may or may not work. Again, these are another 2 that germinated perfectly together because these mini muncher cucumbers had 100% germination. Okay, pop it back into position. The soil's all nice and wet and it's ready to go. So I've got 3 successful tomato seedlings here. One is clearly thriving more than the other 2. So I'm going to put 2 of these in a pot and plant them out, and this other one I'm going to plant out in a smaller pot and gift it on to one of the girls' friends who is pretty keen to start growing her own tomatoes as well. Okay, let's get these recycled pots ready. Okay, so I've taken out those tomatoes. I've torn off the lower leaves and planted them quite deep. And if you haven't heard me say before, basil is a great companion plant for tomatoes, so I'm going to pop some of those in this pot as well. Let's get to it. And pick out the strongest looking basil seedlings here. Oh, hey Lizzie. It's very nice to have a lizard in the greenhouse and a spider. I was a little bit concerned that I was trying to get rid of a lot of the critters in here. I'd lose my good friends. I still have the naughty ants in here taking stuff away. And I might put the rest of these basil in here too. They look like they're ready to be planted on. And then I'm also going to put my little basil companion plant in with this tomato that I'm gifting on. Okay. Now these just need a good watering in with some worm tea and they'll be ready to thrive. I thought we were growing zucchinis, but this could be more of a pumpkin. Actually, I have no idea what that is. Interesting, fun. And there's some little blueberry flowers coming along. Yay!
Thanks for sticking around. Like and subscribe to join me experimenting in the new greenhouse at the Beaches Farm Girl.